Most people moving to Washington think they need to choose Seattle, and that's exactly where a lot of them go wrong. Because for a lot of buyers, Tacoma is actually the better move. They just don't realize it until after they've already committed. I've helped people relocate to the Seattle Tacoma area, and I hear the same thing over and over. I didn't know it was going to be like this. So in this video, I'm breaking down the real differences: cost, commute, lifestyle, and what your day-to-day life actually looks like, so you can make the right decision the first time. Let's start with the biggest difference between Seattle and Tacoma, and that's cost, because this is where people get it wrong. On paper, Tacoma looks like the easy decision. You can still find homes in that mid 400s to 500s range, while Seattle is easily pushing 800K and up depending on the neighborhood. So people look at that and think, okay, Tacoma is the affordable option. But here's the part no one explains. Your monthly cost doesn't just depend on the purchase price. Between interest rates, property taxes, insurance, and just general cost of living, that gap doesn't always feel as big as people expect. In Seattle, especially, is tricky because you're paying a premium, but you're still making trade-offs. Smaller homes, less space, more competition, more traffic, and that's usually the moment people start questioning things. This is what I see all the time. People budget for the purchase price, but they don't fully think through what their day-to-day cost is actually going to look like and feel like even. All right, let's talk about weather, and not the version you see on Instagram, because I'll be honest, summers here are incredible. This is the version of Seattle and Tacoma that people fall in love with. Long days, sunshine, and being outside all the time. It might look sunny outside my window right now, but that is truly not a typical winter day in Washington. To be honest, the rest of the year is where people get caught off guard. It's not heavy rain like people expect. It's just gray, consistently gray. You wake up and it's gray. You go to work and it's gray. And in the winter, it gets dark really early. And this affects more than people think. Your energy shifts, your routine changes, even how social you feel can change. Especially if you're coming from somewhere sunny, this adjustment is very real. What I tell people is you don't wait for good weather here, you learn how to live with it. You plan your weekends differently, you get outside anyway, and you build your routine around it. And if you can do that, this area is amazing, because when it is nice here, there's honestly nowhere better. Now, this is where the Seattle versus Tacoma decision really starts to matter, your day-to-day life. A lot of people think they'll just live in Tacoma and commute into Seattle. And technically, you can, but that commute can easily be an hour to an hour and a half each way, depending on traffic. And doing that every day, that's where it stops feeling worth it. Another thing people don't expect, Seattle can feel a little closed off socially. Something called the Seattle freeze, meaning that people are nice, but they're not always that welcoming right away. So you actually have to put in work to build a community here. And then there's the lifestyle piece. People move here for the mountains, the water, the outdoors, but in reality, it's not always as easy or spontaneous as it looks. Between traffic, weather, and distance, you usually have to plan for it. This is the biggest disconnect I see. People move here for a lifestyle, but end up working more just to afford being here. And none of this is a deal breaker. You just need to know what your actual daily life is going to feel like before you choose where to live. Another thing that really catches people off guard is how much this area has grown. Seattle especially has seen a ton of growth over the past several years, and Tacoma is growing right behind it. And what that looks like in real life is more traffic, more competition for homes, and overall, things just feel a lot busier than people expect. If you're moving from somewhere smaller or slower pace, this shift can feel very significant at first. Again, not a bad thing. You just want to make sure the pace of the area actually fits the lifestyle you're looking for. And this might be the most important piece that people don't think through enough: your job. Seattle is very tech driven. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, higher salaries, more opportunity. But with that also comes more competition, higher cost of living, and a faster pace. Tacoma is a little different. More local industries, healthcare, logistics, education, and generally a lower cost of living, but also typically lower income ceilings compared to Seattle. And yes, remote work still exists, but not at a level it did a couple years ago. So where your job is based, or where it could be based in the future, should absolutely play into where you decide to live. So here's the reality: Seattle and Tacoma are both great options, but they're very different experiences, and I've seen this firsthand. People who absolutely love their move and people who feel like they didn't fully think through what their day-to-day life would actually look like. And honestly, I lived in very different environments, including internationally, and I can tell you, where you live impacts your daily life way more than people expect. So this decision isn't just about price or location, it's your routine, time, and your lifestyle. Making sure the area actually fits you. If you're thinking about moving to the Seattle-Tacoma area and want help figuring out where you'd actually fit, not just what looks good online, feel free to reach out. I'd much rather you make the right decision the first time. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help. I love being a resource to people. So thanks for watching this video.